Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Leadership and Learning. My name is Dr. Tram Nguyen. I'm a transformational coach helping people bridge the gap between technical skills to people leadership skills. In these leadership and learning episodes, I interview leaders from different areas of expertise to give you, the listeners, some ideas of what makes a great leader. The first series are parts of an interview I conducted with Alejandro Rodriguez, better known as Ali, and my dear friend Dr. Tony Cerella. I hope you enjoy the episodes. I encourage you to reach out to myself or any of the interviewees with any questions you have. You can find us all on LinkedIn. Enjoy the series. Ali is the CEO of Kaveo Leadership, and Tony and I go way back from publishing our dissertation and going through school together at USC.
Thank you very much, Tram. Thank you for having us. Really excited to be here, honestly. I'm a retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel. I served for 21 years around the world, a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. And while I was on active duty, I realized that my real passion was helping others. So I became an executive and leadership coach through Georgetown University's coaching program. And I launched Kaveo Leadership a few years ago as a leadership development company, doing coaching, assessments, and facilitated workshops and classes. And Tony and I go way back. We went through college together. And so I'll turn the microphone over to Tony.
Thanks, Ali. Tram, always a pleasure. And thanks for having Ali and me on the show today. I have a very similar backstory. I am nearly at the end of 22, almost 23 years of serving in the American Army. That's coming to an end. And much like Ali, I found my passion in serving others in a different way, and that is primarily by being a coach. It gives me great joy to help people work through challenges and problems, regardless of what profession they're in. And I'm looking forward to our discussion today.
Today, we're actually talking about resiliency, especially right now as this video is being recorded. We are in the end of 2022, where almost 3 years from the start of COVID. And right now, lots of people are feeling it globally. And you guys know of the massive layoffs, and it's hitting everyone around the world. Just in November alone, over 70,000 people being laid off over all companies, not only just tech companies, but pharmaceutical manufacturing, all the industries. And so we're talking about resiliency, and let's just start with the basics. Definition of resiliency as you guys have seen it, especially in leadership and in the military.
The first thing that comes to mind when it comes to resiliency is the ability to stand back up. So whenever you take a hit, whenever you run out of breath, but you can take a pause, you fall down, but you get right back up and you get back at it, whatever it is that you're doing.
I would add that the best leaders that I've worked with, whether they are officers, sergeants, civilians, people who aren't in no way, shape, or form affiliated with the military, the best leaders and followers are the ones that are able to get back up, keep moving, learn from what they stumbled through, and try again.
So let's get to that pivotal point where you've been knocked down, like you're flat on your face. What makes people, in the stories and the experiences that you have, what makes a person get up? What are the motivations that you've seen? Because not everyone gets up. Let's just face it. That's honest. Some people just can't.
A support system is the first thing that comes to mind. And that includes the friends, the mentors, the peers, the people that are there to help experience the story and help that person get through the story. And then I would also add, a second thought comes to mind. This is the people who are no longer with us, the echoes of those that inspired us, either in our immediate family or people that have such inspiration in their story that they're there when we need a bit of assistance.
You'll have to help me here, because as you're saying that, Tony, forgive me, I only know Hollywood military versions, but how have you seen that? How do you lean on others? I'm thinking like drill sergeants, whereas you either make it or break it. I don't generally connotate support or support group with the military.
So there's certainly the surface level is the physical component, what you see in the movies. And I think what you were describing, Tram, people who go through physical rigor, the physical rituals that we associate with the military or any profession has a challenge, recurring challenging circumstances. And that's important. But behind that, when you think about long-term resiliency, I think about someone who, much like me or Ali, who has served in a military service or demanding profession for 20 years. And my first thought is the family that has stood beside me, next to me, in front of me, behind me, through all of the challenges, whether they be in relatively nice circumstances now. I'm currently, assigned in Italy, or the less than pleasant circumstances when you're deployed and away from your family.
I really appreciate what Tony said. I feel goosebumps myself, actually, just thinking about some of those things. One of the things that Hollywood kind of misses out on sometimes is that camaraderie that, Tram, you were alluding to. And I think if you put yourself in those high pressure situations, well, then you have to rely on the person to your left and right. And it's, when bullets are flying, when things are just not going right, and when you're in those kinds of situations, it's your brothers and sisters that are next to you. And that is your support system. And nothing else matters. And you tend to reach in deep to be brave and to be helpful to them and to support them, and vice versa. And you feel it from others that are there with you, and they reach out and they've got your back. And it's that feeling, frankly, of love. It's that feeling right there that creates the support network that's, in my mind, is critical to be able to stand back up and keep giving it everything you got.
Now, is there training for camaraderie in Air Force or Army? I mean, it's not something that you see in the boot camp Hollywood versions of training.
Surprisingly, the boot camp actually does build that camaraderie, because what it does is on purpose, it creates a common enemy. So that drill sergeant, nobody likes the drill sergeant. You got that one common enemy, and it's that common stress, right, of training, where you're yelling, you're all running in formation, and no matter how tired you are, somebody comes up behind you and picks you up so you don't fall out of formation. It's built in from the first day. They shave everybody's head for that very reason, so that we all look alike.
Tony, is that the same experience that is true about the Army?
Yeah, there's a commonality that runs through all of these short-term and long-term rituals. As Ali was describing, in order to build a team, you need something for them to coalesce around. That's emotional and physical challenges. As Ali was talking about, someone to dislike, to focus their frustration towards. And I think most importantly is an environment where you feel safe enough to have a hand offered to you. And in line with that, being able to accept a hand, a hand to you when you're in a circumstance or circumstances where you need that help, so that you're willing to receive and give that help. And that's, I think, how you build camaraderie.